and welcome. I'm by the Windsor Castle where Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, on the 9th of April passed peacefully. The Queen has lost her king. Britain is mourning, and as you can see behind me, a lot of people are turning up to pay their tribute, of course, in a restricted manner. There are a lot of police around here as well. It's still locked down. But this is not the only tragedy that the Queen has faced this year. In the next half hour, we'll look back at the royal sorrow.
Prince Philip, the husband of Queen Elizabeth II of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland and other realms, has died at the age of 99. 2 months more and he would have scored a century. Throughout his long and eventful life, the prince had lived up to the very Woodhouseian image of the British upper class. A doddering but well-meaning royal who tried not to get in the way of things.
I've seen the world's most experienced pluck on there.
Yes, yeah.
He had himself acknowledged that he was a master at putting his foot in his mouth.
He's portrayed, as you know, in the press as somebody who makes blunders and gaffes and things like that. Well, they aren't blunders and gaffes, of course. What he's trying to do is to get a rise out of you, and sometimes that can be misinterpreted. It can even sometimes appear to be offensive.
Prince Philip had not been keeping well for the last couple of years. Joking that he could no longer stand up, he announced in 2017 that he was stepping down from royal engagements. But staying out of the public eye did not keep him out of the public eye. He crashed his car in 2019 at age 97, apparently dazzled by the low sun. Son of Prince Andrew of Greece and Denmark, Philip was born on the island of Corfu. And it was only in 1947 that Philip became a British subject, taking his mother's surname, Mountbatten. He had to renounce his right to the Greek and Danish thrones, but months later, Prince Philip married Princess Elizabeth at a ceremony at Westminster Abbey on 20th of November 1947. On the eve of his wedding, he was designated a Royal Highness and was created a Knight of the Garter, Baron Greenwich, Earl of Merioneth, and Duke of Edinburgh. In his youth, Prince Philip had been a crack shot, a qualified pilot, and as a sailor, seen action almost throughout the Second World War. He was mentioned in multiple dispatches and had been present at the surrender of Japan in 1945. It was an interesting 99 years and 10 months that the prince spent among the living. He took down a tiger with a single shot during a shikar in India in 1961. He played polo till he was 50, forced to retire because of an injury. Till well into his 80s, he competed in international 4-horse carriage racing. He also had a special label for the press who followed his every move: bloody reptiles.
For years I watched him walking 3 paces behind the Queen with the mayoress and not the mayor, with the president's wife and not the president. And for a man who captained his own ship in the Royal Navy, was mentioned in dispatches in the war in Japan against the Japanese in the Second World War, a man who was very much his own person, to take that role for 65, 67 years, I think it's incredible.
Despite having lived his life in the shadow of the Queen, his wife for 73 years, Prince Philip died as he had lived, quietly making a splash.
All eyes now are on Harry and Meghan. Will they attend Prince Philip's funeral? If they do, this will be the first time that they will be face to face with the royals after their bombshell Oprah interview in which they accused the palace of racism.
My biggest concern was history repeating itself.
You've said some pretty shocking things here. Wait, hold up, wait a minute.
Given security.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's interview with Oprah Winfrey, which aired on March 7 this year, intensified an already acrimonious row between the couple and the British monarchy, which initially began after the duo stepped down from their royal duties to start a new life in the United States.
He won't be given security.
Meghan Markle, in the tell-all interview, made many explosive claims, which threatened to rock the monarchy.
Did you make Kate cry?
No. The reverse happened.
Explain to us what you mean by that.
A few days before the wedding, she was upset about something pertaining to, yes, the issue was correct, about flower girl dresses, and it made me cry, and it really hurt my feelings.
One of her biggest statements being that there were concerns about how dark her son Archie's skin would be.
Conversations about how dark his skin might be.
And that such worries explained why he was not given the title of the prince.
We have in tandem the conversation of he won't be given security, he's not going to be given a title, and also concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
The biracial actor also went on to say that she ended up having suicidal thoughts after asking for help, but getting none from the palace.
Look, I was really ashamed to say it at the time, and ashamed to have to admit it to Harry especially, because I know how much loss he's suffered. But I knew that if I didn't say it, that I would do it, and I just didn't want to be alive anymore.
Needless to say, the bold interview created ripples everywhere. So much so that the normally unflappable Queen issued a statement denying Meghan's allegations, which read, and I quote, "The whole family is saddened to learn the full extent of how challenging the last few years have been for Harry and Meghan. The issues raised, particularly that of race, are concerning. While some recollections may vary, they are taken very seriously and will be addressed by the family privately. Harry, Meghan and Archie will always be much-loved family members." Prince William was also quick to defend the monarchy and his family. When on a visit to a school in East London, he denied the racism allegations.
Sir, have you spoken to your brother since the interview?
No, I haven't spoken to him yet, but I will do.
And can you just let me know, is the royal family a racist family, sir?
No, we're very much not a racist family.
The situation was already murky, as days before the controversial interview aired, Harry and Meghan found themselves at odds with the palace, followed by an increasingly bitter war of words. In an advance excerpt of the interview, Meghan accused Buckingham Palace of perpetuating falsehoods about her and her spouse, saying the royal couple will not be silent in telling their story. The clip was released just hours after the palace said it was to launch an investigation into allegations made by a newspaper that Meghan had bullied members of the royal staff, saying it was very concerned about the claims.
There's absolutely no doubt whatsoever that the situation is toxic. The interview with Oprah and everything that surrounds it, the allegations that Meghan bullied staff, for example, and the inquiry that is going to take place at Buckingham Palace regarding that, trailers, various statements being put out. All of this will define their relations with the royal family for the foreseeable future. They're echoes of the Wars of the Waleses in the 1990s here. It's extremely perilous.
The royal row reached new heights when Prime Minister Boris Johnson was dragged into the controversy. Since his cabinet secretary Simon Case worked for the royal family in 2018, the same year when the staff had reported to have complained about the behavior of Prince Harry's new bride. While the public at large remains divided over the issue, Several celebrities like Beyoncé and Sophie Turner backed Meghan and Prince Harry's decision to step down as working royals in January last year and carve their own independent niche in America. The split from the royal family was made permanent after the Queen officially removed their honorary titles and patronages. And after the controversial Oprah chat, looks like Harry and Meghan are certainly not looking back, just keen to forge their future on their own terms. Entertainment Bureau, India Today.
The bombshell Oprah interview was only the latest storm that the Queen had to weather. It all started earlier in the year when Harry and Meghan, in a shocking revelation, posted on their Instagram that they are stepping away from royal duties, a move that was termed Megxit.
Once upon a time, there was a royal prince and his not-so-conventional princess. The two hoped to live happily ever after. And they did. At least that's what it appeared to be. A divorcee and a woman of color, Meghan had already shattered royal rules when she married Harry. But the British press was hard to please and very unforgiving. The headlines and the coverage bordering on plain bullying. In May 2019, Meghan and Harry welcomed their first child, Archie.
I mean, I have the two best guys in the world, so I'm really happy.
A few months later, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex took a trip to South Africa. That's when the world got a glimpse into what really was going on behind the scenes.
I don't know what the impact on your physical and mental health of all the pressure that you clearly feel under.
You add this on top of just trying to be a new mom or trying to be a newlywed. It's, yeah, well, I guess, and also thank you for asking, because not many people have asked if I'm okay, but it's a very real thing to be going through behind the scenes.
And the answer is, would it be fair to say not really okay? As in, it's really been a struggle?
Yes.
From this point onwards, it was all downhill. On 8th January 2020, Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, and Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, announced on Instagram their decision to step back as senior members of the royal family. They said they would split their time between UK and America and become financially independent. The move was dubbed Megxit. The announcement led to a meeting of the royal family on 13 January, where the Queen delivered a rare personal statement on her family. 5 days later, an agreement was announced where it was said that Harry and Meghan would no longer be working members of Britain's royal family and would not use their Royal Highness titles. A 12-month review period was allowed in case the couple changed their minds. However, they did not. On 19 February, Buckingham Palace confirmed that the Duke and Duchess would relinquish their royal patronages as they were not returning as working members of the royal family. Meghan and Harry now live in a mansion in California and are expecting their second child. Bureau Report, India Today.
While this year seems to be the Crown's worst year, by her own admission, Queen calls 1992 to be the most horrible year. It started with a fire in the Windsor Castle and ended up with 2 royal divorces and a tell-all interview by Princess Diana.
Annus horribilis might sound like someone with a bad case of hemorrhoids. But when the Queen of United Kingdom mentioned the phrase almost 30 years ago, she was speaking Latin. In Latin, the phrase quite literally means horrible year. A glum admission indeed at that time from a monarch of 40 years standing. Queen Elizabeth II announced, 1992 is not a year on which I shall look back with undiluted pleasure. She went on to say, in the words of one of my more sympathetic correspondents, it has turned out to be an annus horribilis. I suspect that I am not alone in thinking it so. She said this 4 days after the Windsor Castle had caught fire. On 20th of November 1992, the largest inhabited castle in Europe and one of the official residences of Queen Elizabeth II had suffered extensive damage in a huge fire. The main fire burned for almost 12 hours, making headline news across the world. 1992 marked the year that the British royalty traversed the short distance from living the fairy tale existence to becoming the spicy stories that drive tabloid sales northwards. To the general British public, the royal family in 1992 seemed an imperial mess. In the House of Windsor, divorce was something of a taboo till then, but the monarchy was rocked by 2 broken marriages in quick succession. In March, the Queen's second son, Prince Andrew, Duke of York, separated from his wife, Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York. Sarah, or Fergie, as she was called, had been seen in the company of other men, one of whom was a billionaire from Texas. After the divorce, the Queen personally announced that she would not take responsibility for Fergie's mounting debts. It was a royal humiliation for Fergie, made very public. Then just a month later, in April, came the second shock. Queen Elizabeth's daughter, Princess Anne, divorced her husband, Captain Mark Phillips. The couple, who had married in 1973, had been separated for 3 years and were leading separate lives. But no one had an inkling of what was to come. It just took 2 more months to break, when in June 1992, a tell-all book hit the stands. Diana, Her True Story, written by Andrew Morton, was a sensation in Britain and around the world. More so because it had direct inputs and the cooperation of Princess Diana herself. Across 448 pages were described the most intimate and dysfunctional details of a royal wedding gone awry. The book revealed that Diana was unhappy enough to have had suicidal thoughts. While the Diana book was still fermenting, 2 months on, there was another scandal that topped the ones that had broken before. The month of August 1992 in tabloid circles would be remembered for the topless pictures of Fergie, Duchess of York, sunbathing topless and being kissed on the feet by her friend and financial advisor, John Bryan. But the story could be juiced by the tabloids for a mere 4 days before something even more royally spicy became the talk of the town. The details of intimate phone conversations between Diana and her close friend, James Gilby, an event which even acquired its own nickname, Squidgygate. Squidgy being the pet name James Gilby used for Diana. And then came the fire at Windsor Castle in November. It was the final straw of 1992 that had Elizabeth Alexandra Mary break out in Latin. Annus horribilis, she said. A royal understatement, no doubt. If this had happened to a commoner, it would have been bloody awful, to say the least.
That's all we have today for you in our special presentation. For more news and updates, keep watching India Today.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.